Now, the meshed universe is all very well, but it's all illusion. One doesn't want an illusion, so he can't have an illusion. And when he was very young, why, Christ was all right. He was very friendly, as a matter of fact, and so on. But that's mostly people, you know, they have to believe in that sort of thing. And they did once, but it requires nothing but faith. And, of course, they can't have any faith anymore. And they did have hopes on that once in a while, but actually religion doesn't lead anybody anyplace in the final analysis, because you never get your wish anyway. So, of course, one can't survive on the basis of spirits and religion and so forth. So that leaves just, of course, God. And, of course, God naturally exists because there is all this space around here, and this space is obviously surviving. So, of course, it's obviously surviving. Of course, space itself is liable to collapse, but the prime mover unmoved is not liable to collapse because he created all this, and maybe he can't either, and nobody yet has come up with as flat a can't survive as God will never again be able to create another meshed universe. But if we mentioned it, brother, it'd be out in the streets.
The entirety of Roman Catholicism, the devil, all this sort of thing, that is all part of our sexes.
But although I don't think you'd have very much pleasure out of kissing a girl from Jupiter, that's a heavy gravity planet. If you stepped on the planet Jupiter in one of these meat bodies that you presently have, you would become a pancake promptly, you see. And what atmosphere it has lies in seas of liquid air and so on. We might say this is somewhat rigorous as an environment, not completely similar to Russia, but well, so you do get these various variations. And it's not all that horrifying, however. You find somebody running around planet Jupiter, he'd be built to withstand that climatic condition and that gravitic condition and so forth. And his legs might be a bit modified and his arms and that sort of thing, but he probably would look like an Eskimo.
Then, although a lot of people will say carelessly, well, God is everywhere, remember that this was an idea which was introduced rather latterly in Christian religion. The God of which they speak, of whom they speak continually, is Yahweh. Lord knows how it's pronounced because it is so secret that nobody really is supposed to be able to pronounce it, so they omitted all of the vowels in the word. And they spell it only with its consonants. So Lord knows how this word is to be pronounced. But more agreed upon pronunciation among scholars so they can talk about it is Yahweh. And this is the Christian God. But he lives in a trunk with a leopard skin. That's right. That is the full story on it.
So I thought it might be a good thing to know in event of atomic war that we would get, might have some chemical assist, so maybe the people who were only slightly frazzled and so forth could come out of it. And it would have to be very simple. It would have to be some common drug, some common pill. Well, there's societies in England that are having an awfully good time fighting the cigarette. They can't do anything else, so they fight cigarettes. And they say that the cigarette causes lung cancer. And you've been hearing something of this, I'm sure. Yeah, not smoking enough will cause lung cancer. Not smoking enough will cause lung cancer. If anybody is getting a cancerous activity in the lung, the probabilities are that it's radiation dosage coupled with the fact that he smokes. And what it does is start to run out the radiation dosage, don't you see? But I'd say that would be better than not running out any of the radiation dosage at all. And the number of lung cancer cases, which exist, of course, that don't smoke, are just forgotten about by these societies, but they are very numerous. Anyway, there's nicotinic acid in that cigarette. Inevitably, on inhalation of tobacco, you will get some of this phenomena of face flush. But in view of the fact that a cigarette isn't pushing its smoke over the outside of the body, but on the inside, of course, you run it out internally.
You'll find, by the way, another manifestation is pre-clears will shift identities and borrow facsimiles like mad. There's what they call the Christ game. And that game has been played and played and played and played. Honest to Pete, these cards are just so thin. They've been laid down amongst the coffee cups and so forth of the whole universe. You'll find out thousands of years before the year 1 AD Earth, you will have facsimiles and dolls made up like Christ. Fact 1, 1,000,000 years ago, is occasionally rigged with Christ and the devil and an angel. It's a fascinating thing. It's an old game. Here on Earth there was undoubtedly a Christ. One of the reasons he swept in so suddenly and he would go forward so hard is he had a good assist back of him in terms of an implant.
Every man is then shown to have been crucified, so don't think that it's an accident that this crucifixion, they found out that this applied. Somebody somewhere on this planet, back about 600 BC, found some pieces of R6. And I don't know how they found it, either by watching Mad Men or something, but since that time they have used it, and it became what is known as Christianity. The man on the cross. There was no Christ, but the man on the cross is shown as every man. So, of course, each person seeing a crucified man has an immediate feeling of sympathy for this man. Therefore, you get many PCs who says they are Christ. Now, there's two reasons for that. One is the Roman Empire was prone to crucify people. So a person can have been crucified. But in R6, he is shown as crucified.
The magic cults of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th centuries in the Middle East were fascinating. The only modern work that has anything to do with them is trifle wild in spots, but it's fascinating work in itself, and that's work written by Aleister Crowley, the late Aleister Crowley, my very good friend. And he did himself a splendid piece of aesthetics built around those magic cults. It's a very interesting reading to get a hold of a copy of a book, quite rare, but it can be obtained, The Master Therion, Therion, The Master Therion by Aleister Crowley. He signs himself The Beast, the mark of the beast, 666. Very, very something or other.